Joining us now is Mark Walters. He is the host of Armed American Radio and co-author of the book, Lessons Learned from Armed America. Mark, what actions are you expecting from this administration as it pushes for gun control?
We're looking at a number of different avenues that this administration might take. The executive pen is one that we fear the most. Probably the most important issue I think we face is the fact that Barack Obama, using an executive pen, might attempt to criminalize and turn millions of law-abiding citizens into felons overnight by forcing required registration, much like the National Firearms Act requires for Class 3 firearms for anybody that owns any type of semi-automatic weapon. That's probably our greatest fear right now.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. How would the new proposals impact current gun owners and the public? What else can you tell us?
What it means for us is, I believe, and I hope that I'm wrong, that millions of good law-abiding citizens won't be forced or required to make a terrible decision as to whether or not to comply with an unconstitutional mandate forced upon us by the federal government in forms of registration, in forms of what they refer to as the gun show loophole, eliminating private sales of firearms between family members, etc. That would be a very difficult decision for many Americans to have to make.
Now, can we learn anything from the success or failure of past attempts at gun control, like the so-called assault weapons ban? What do you think, Mark?
The fact of the matter is that assault weapons, as they refer to, is a misnomer. There's no such thing as an assault weapon on the streets of America today. An assault weapon would be considered a fully automatic M16 or a SAW. They don't like this gun because they don't like the way that the gun looks. They don't know anything about the functionality of it. It is America's #1 sport utility rifle used by millions of peaceable Americans every single day. We know that the previous assault weapons ban, Mark, was an utter failure. In fact, the FBI's own statistics this past month, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, came out saying that there were more deaths, bludgeoning deaths by hammers, than all rifles of any type committed in America over the last year. It's absolute insanity.
Wow. What is the best way to stop criminals and people who have mental illness?
I can tell you one thing, that the NRA caught an awful lot of flack for their quote-unquote controversial press conference in the days following the slaughter in Newtown. And controversial to who? The mainstream media is what I would suggest it's controversial to. Congress benefits from armed security. Our pilots and our airline travelers benefit from armed security. Our banks, armed security. Security guards are armed. Clearly, we have an issue in this country when our children, our nation's most precious resource, we can't find the means to protect and defend our children. Wayne LaPierre was absolutely correct, and that is the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. We have to accept that evil exists in this world, and we have got to accept that fact. Otherwise, we will allow it to continue to metastasize and continue to do us harm.
All right, Mark Walters of Armed American Radio, thanks for being with us, sir.
Thanks very much, Mark. I appreciate the opportunity.